Moni Maker was saddled in the Red Mile's open-air paddock, ringed by fans who wanted to look at this mare who dared to trot into the shadow of Greyhound. Julie Krone made a few last-minute calculations, writing fractional times that would add up to the record on the palm of her hand. As fans made a path for Moni Maker and Julie Krone to walk onto the track, the sun peeked through the clouds, casting a golden hue on the once and future Hall of Famers. Tactor and Hennessy, driving thoroughbreds pulling sulkies, joined Moni Maker and Krone after the post-parade. They could run alongside and beside the duo, but never ahead, or the mark would be invalid. A hush fell over the crowd as Moni Maker trotted up to the gate, and the battle against the clock was joined. The quarter-mile time would tell if the record could be reached. The first quarter was slow by Moni Maker's standards, but with a long straightaway in front of her, Hennessy and Tactor quickened the pace, and Krone let Moni Maker loose.
Moni Maker underway in her effort against the clock, going to beat 158.2, and Moni Maker and Julie have just reached the quarter-mile mark. They trot past that barrier in 30 flat. When Greyhound did his time trial, he was there in 30 3/4, and preferential with Brooke Nichols was there in 30 1/5, so we're a fifth ahead of the previous mark as the leading money-winning trotter or pacer, the leading money-winning standardbred of all time, is down the backstretch, approaching now the half-mile mark. So midway down the backside, Moni Maker and Julie Krone at the half-mile mark, and they reached that barrier in 58 flat. Preferential was there in a minute. So 2 full seconds ahead of the previous mark, and now Julie Krone up on Moni Maker, sends her around the upper turn headed toward the draw gate. Moni Maker by Speedy Crown from Nan's Catch, who herself won the Kentucky Futurity for fillies right here over the Red Mile, approaches a 3/4, and Julie has the filly there in 1:26.1. Preferential reached that mark in 29.4, top of the lane. And the greatest trotting mare in history, the greatest trotter of them all, the internationally renowned Moni Maker, the internationally renowned Julie Krone, drive to the wire, and she's still going well. Here comes Moni Maker to the wire. Julie Krone, she's going to be there. 54-1.
Once again, but for the last time, Moni Maker was given a new challenge, new rules in an old game for her, and she did all that could be expected of her, and more. Time and again, she made what was impossible for most horses look easy for her. Back and forth across the ocean, at any distance, against all comers, she found a way to win.
She was just fabulous. You can just see her class in the paddock. She's been everywhere, all around the world, and like I told everybody after the interview afterwards, that I was so pleased just to be part of such a magnificent horse and such a great day. The crowd turnout, the weather, it was like the most perfect day ever, and she performed up to par as she usually does. And I told Wally I made a mistake earlier, and she fixed it, and he goes, "That's what she does for me too." So she's always there for you, and that was a pretty nice experience to be around her.
4 1/5 seconds, 21 lengths. That's how much Moni Maker and Julie Krone beat the record by. It took 54 years for Greyhound's under-saddle record to be broken, and it may take another 54 years for someone to beat Moni Maker's time that day at the Red Mile.
She's the best standardbred in the world, so she has to be like the best, so it has to be the best experience I've ever had as far as, the uniqueness of riding a horse that's not a thoroughbred, and not just because of the fact that I was riding a horse under saddle at the trot, but the fact that she is Moni Maker, and need I say more?
As Tactor's second trainer and Moni Maker's farrier, Connie Svensson, pulled off her shoes, it was hard to imagine that this champion, for whom winning was nearly a foregone conclusion, would never compete again. And so to a life of ease for the rest of her days. For Moni Maker, what a farewell it was.